Hey crew, alright, this is hands down the best build ever for a Stasis Titan that I have personally played with. This first clip you are watching is of the 1360 Master Dungeon, and just watch how many abilities I use on this champion in 50 seconds. I left him alive on purpose just to see what we could do. We throw 9 grenades, 4 melees, and also pop 4 barricades. So we use 17 abilities in this 50-second clip. That's an ability every 3 seconds, and these are strong abilities that can control adds with the best of them. And the stasis freezing and shatter damage of crystals is literally the best ad clear in the game right now. We do this all without picking up wells or killing enemies, which is what makes it so powerful. It's all self-procced, and you decide when to use it and when to take advantage of it. This build gets even crazier because our aspect actually procs our exotic armor perk as well, so everything is just so smooth with this setup. Pair this build with the new Eyes Luna with Headstone and something like Rapid Hit or Unrelenting, or a weapon with Demolitionist, and you will always, and I mean always, have an ability available. Then add some well mods to create wells and some survivability, and I can't take this build off on the Titan. Like, you just can't make me take it off. If you're new to the channel and found this video helpful or enjoyable, then hit that subscribe button for me and become part of the crew here. Also, for my normal crew, if you could let this video play out till the end, that will go a long way in supporting the channel and myself, so thank you so much for doing that. Make sure to pay attention to everything, the subclass, exotic, and mods, because we want to understand what everything is doing and how it's working together, so you'll be able to do what I'm doing in any activity in Destiny 2, which is why I think this Titan build is one of the best for the Titan that I have ever played. It's dependent on no teammate or well mods. As you can see in the video, it's literally how good you play the game, controlling your abilities, chaining your abilities back to back, and just understanding how the gameplay works. Also, there will be a build pic of the entire build in the video that you can screenshot so you can keep. And if you haven't joined the Discord, there is a Discord section that I keep all my builds in. It's called the Builds and Mods channel. So you can go in there for a one-stop shop to every build, and all my future builds will be added to that Discord. So if you want to join and take advantage of it and get access to it, the links to the Discord will be down in the description and the pinned comment for you. Our first aspect is Howl of the Storm. While sliding, activate your charged melee ability to launch a wave of stasis energy forward that freezes targets and creates stasis crystals. This is our main way of creating crystals with the build, and this gives us 2 fragment slots. Our second is Diamond Lance. Shatter or defeat targets with stasis abilities to create a stasis lance. You can also kill enemies with a stasis weapon to create Diamond Lance as well. This goes really well with the build because it procs our exotic armor piece, which is absolutely awesome, and then Howl of the Storm is the main way we create crystals. We have 5 fragments with this build. First, we have Whisper of Shards. Shattering a stasis crystal temporarily boosts your grenade recharge rate. This is a great way to get our grenade back fast. We're also using Dustfield Grenade with this build and running 100 Discipline to have our Dustfield cooldown down to 24 seconds. Our next fragment is Whisper of Fissures. Increase the damage and size of the burst of stasis when you destroy a stasis crystal or defeat a frozen target. This makes our crystal damage go way higher than it is, which is great. And then we also have Whisper of Durance. Slow from your abilities last longer. For those abilities that linger, their duration will also increase. This makes our dust field last about 7 seconds longer and increases the slow on our enemies. And then we have Whisper of Rending. Kinetic weapons do increased damage to stasis crystals and frozen targets. This is huge because it makes killing frozen targets and stasis crystals very fast and efficient. And then lastly, we have Whisper of Torment. You gain grenade energy each time you take damage from targets. This can be subbed out for something else if you like something else to go with the build a little bit better as far as fragment wise, but this is the one I went with. For our mods on the helmet, we have Hands On. Gain bonus super energy on melee kills. This is so every time we use our melee and create those shards going forward, if it kills enemies, we get bonus super damage. And then we also have Bountiful Wells. Elemental Well mods cause you to spawn Elemental Wells can now stack. So Explosive Well Maker or Melee Well Maker or Grenade Well Maker, all of those would spawn an extra well if we have this on. On our gauntlets, we want Grenade Kickstart. When your grenade energy is fully expended, you gain grenade energy. And then we also have Elemental Charge. Become charged with light by picking up an Elemental Well. And then we're picking up Solar Wells with this build. The reason we're picking up Solar Wells is because we're using Explosive Wellmaker on our chest. Rapidly defeat combatants with explosive damage. Spawns a Solar Elemental Well. The crystals we create with our Howl of the Storm melee and our, let's say, Headstone weapon, those crystals are explosive damage. Every time they get a double kill, they will spawn a Solar Well. And because of Bountiful Wells, they'll spawn 2 Solar Wells. So that's where we're spawning our wells, and that's also how we're becoming charged with light. For our exotic, we're using Heart of Inmost Light. Our perk here is Overflowing Light. Every time we use an ability, we empower the other 2 abilities. And this just cycles through all our abilities, and we can empower them ×2. That means they all recharge faster, and they do more damage, and the barricade has more hit points. So a really underrated exotic. I'm not sure why that many Titans don't use this, but I'm really baffled by it. A lot of times I see a lot of different other exotics in people's slot. This one is so good for the neutral game of the Titan. So you use Heart of Inmost Light. You're also proccing Whisper of Shards to get grenade energy, and you're doing Heart of Inmost Light ×2 to get your grenade back really fast. And then you also have Diamond Lance that counts as a grenade. So this procs all of the Heart of Inmost Light perks too, which is absolutely crazy. We have Protective Light on our boot. We became charged with light by picking up a well from Elemental Charge, and we use that with Protective Light. So every time our shield breaks, we get some good damage resistance and survivability. And then we also have Better Already. Your health regens. Your health starts to regen when you pick up an Orb of Power. If your boots are, let's say, solar, and you have Protective Light somewhere else, then you want to use Innervation on here to get your grenade back every time you pick up an Orb of Power instead. And then for our class item, we have Well of Ordnance. Picking up a solar elemental well grants you additional grenade energy. So we get a good 20 to 25% bonus of our grenade every time we pick up a solar well. And then we have Bomber, reduced grenade cooldown when using your class ability. And then we also have Particle Deconstruction. I didn't have Particle Deconstruction on in this video, the gameplay that you're seeing, because one of my teammates had it on. So I used a bunch of different mods, as you'll see in my build. But you can always have Particle Deconstruction on here, and definitely use it if someone on your fire team is not using it. The biggest takeaway I want you guys to take from this build is that you only need Heart of Inmost Light and Whisper of Shards as the fragment to make everything go. Like, well mods are extra for this build, okay? So don't worry about getting the right mods in those slots or whatever, and, you know, spawning the right wells and doing all this different stuff. You literally need the exotic and the aspects and fragments all to line up. That's it. Once you start chaining those abilities, they'll just chain back to back. Once you throw the grenade, use the melee, use the barricade, that grenade will come back, that melee will come back, that barricade will come back, and you can just rinse and repeat, which is what I really like about this build, and that's why I think it's so strong and by far the best Stasis Titan build that I've ever played with. So I hope you guys found this video helpful and enjoyable. If you haven't seen some of these builds up on screen, go give them a watch. They're great builds, especially if you're looking for a certain type of build. And I'll see you guys all in the next video. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you so much for sticking around to the end and helping support the channel. I really appreciate it.